Well, hello all. This is my fireplace, my internal fireplace. This is a steel hopper that I bought from a scrapyard for $6 or 120 Rand. I cut the hole in this metal, and today I'm hoping and planning, and I know it will work because I've already tried it out, to turn this internal fireplace that sits in my lounge into an oven. Let me show you how we're going to do that. So here is a scrap piece of metal. It's a circular piece of quite thick, I don't know what it was used for, but it's almost like a thick chimney. So what I did was I stood on the end of it to flatten it. Push this into the fireplace when the fire's going. Now, being flattened, it doesn't roll around. I also have the option of putting a little grid in there and put my food on the grid so that it doesn't get the direct heat. And then I took this lid from a pot, just reversed the handle, and that goes in there. And when this fire is going, it produces a magnificent heat, turning this into a beautiful, wonderful oven. We're testing it out with some potatoes. I can feel the potatoes are completely done beautifully in this oven. So yeah, we're really pleased with that. Again, just look how light, and that beautiful smell of smoked potato. So our oven worked perfectly. Many people say that Disneyland is the happiest place on earth, but for me, the place I liked the most to go to was the metal scrapyard. I was so happy there. For example, I bought my fireplace for a few dollars, and I bought the chimneys there, all scrap metal. Bought that little round piece of what looks like a bit of chimney as well, which I turned into an oven. Had a spare pot lid lying around. I just so love taking scrap and repurposing it. Just gives me so much pleasure. I think if I'd been born with a golden or silver spoon in my mouth, I can't imagine that I would have derived so much happiness as I have in my life visiting scrap yards. All the doors and windows in my house are welded up. All the doors are made from scrap metal, from trucks and vans and lorries and pieces of scrap. I just turned them into the metal doors of my house. And it just gave me so much pleasure welding these things up and repurposing old useless stuff, scrap, into perfectly good doors, because metal, if it's treated well, lasts forever. So there's no such thing as scrap. And I really want to emphasize that when it comes to humans as well. I mean, there's no person that is scrap. Every person, everything in your house can be repurposed, made look old and useless. What a pleasure I get from finding all the junk that's lying around and just turning it from junk lying around into something useful in the home. So I guess that applies to humans. It applies to virtually, all things that can be regarded as worthless. I mean, think about it. Which human is better than another human? Just because you earn your money on the stock market, or you're a fancy broker, or you're a movie star, does that make you a better person? And the other person sitting homeless on the street, are they not as good as you? I mean, these stockbrokers, these financial experts, they're probably far more corrupt, greedy, distant from God than the homeless guy who's dependent on God, and he's sitting on the street, and he's got his problems, and they're obvious problems. But the rich, greedy, capitalist, they always think they're so good, and they go to church every Sunday, and they think their halo just shines, and they're a glowing example to everybody. I don't think so. Everyone is has the same worth, and just because society values you being rich and your money and you smell good, doesn't make you good. So anyway, that's my feeling, that all people, wow, even if they don't look like they've got much, everyone can be repurposed. And isn't that what Christianity is all about? Taking people that are of no use to God and turning them into something that's beautiful, precious, wonderful in His sight. And often those rich, famous, blessed people are the last people who think that they need God. And the poor and the homeless and the needy, wow, Christ really had a soft spot for those people. They were the ones who came to Him. So that's my story for the day.